Yeah, Ryan, I know you got Oscar block last year. Drive should have been a shoo-in. I'm well aware of that. But what I'm trying to say is no, bro, if you take Sam I Am, I'm telling you, it's got Oscar written all over it. Dude, listen to me. When have I ever let you down? Seriously. Hey, doll, can you come over here? Hold on 1 second, okay? I just got a thing. Yeah, give me 2. These are pretty important TIFF files that I need summarized by 3 p.m. Do you think you can handle that? That would be great. Yep, I'm back. I know.
You can't smoke in here.
Okay, yeah, we can do lunch, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, I'm back. Listen, what I'm saying is if I send you the email, you can send me the script, and then we can discuss it. I'll send it right now. I'm typing your name. Ryan. Yeah, okay. I'm pressing send. Exactly. I know, it's hilarious.
Hey, yes?
1 second. I gotta go. I got a thing. We'll talk soon. Ciao, ciao. BDJ, what's up?
Don't we have a meeting?
That's adorable. I actually have a really important meeting coming up with the author of this quintessential TIFF book, Brave Films, Wild Nights.
That's me. I wrote that.
Just joking. I'm not that big of a TIFF hole. Anyone who takes film seriously in this country knows who Brian D. Johnson is. He's been writing about movies at Maclean since 1985. He's been to Cannes for the last 18 years in a row. And this will be his 27th year covering the Toronto International Film Festival. And he wrote this book, which in my opinion should be required reading for any journalist covering the festival. Your first involvement with TIFF was actually delivering films before you were writing about movies?
Oh yeah. I was a freelancer, and when TIFF came around for 3 years, I paid my dues at the festival by hoisting celluloid up fire escapes to projection booths, which is kind of what you had to do back then. It was really the best job I ever had. You know, the organizers are very nervous because if I don't show up with a film, there's no show. I've never felt such a vital part of the film industry as when I actually delivered the movies to the theaters. It was great. And also, it was like going to the gym. You get into great shape.
I can imagine. But then you didn't stop there. You just didn't deliver film. You've had different roles with the festival, such as?
Well, mostly I've been a film critic, you know, being part of the publicity mill. But I've been a filmmaker. I've had 2 films programmed at the festival, and this year, I'm kind of dreading it, but I'm an interview subject in a documentary about Garth Drabinsky. That's going to be a bit weird because, you know, seeing yourself on the big screen is not, I'm sure that can't be easy, so I'm going to get some of my own medicine.
27 years of covering the festival. There must be a moment that stands out, is there?
It's a blur. I wish there was a moment that stood out.
Gotta be one juicy little.
One juicy little. I mean, there are lots of moments. I remember meeting Quentin Tarantino with Reservoir Dogs before he was Quentin Tarantino. And you're interviewing him, and this guy is talking, I mean, like a mile a minute. He makes Martin Scorsese sound like he's on Quaaludes. He's talking so fast. And I'm asking him about violence, you know, and his language is violent. The way he defends his violence, because it's more violent than, more disturbing than Hollywood violence. And it's this machine gun kind of, and you know, he'd been up all night partying with his, you know, festival rat friends, Roberto Rodriguez and all these guys who were like this new subwave of American filmmakers that were coming along. And to be, it's in retrospect when you're doing an interview like that, and then you think, well, that, you know, that's when he was just starting out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of exciting when you catch people early on. The thing about movie stars that is really interesting when you talk to them is that in person, their beauty or lack of it, you can't really disguise it in person. You see the person, you know. I don't think I was ever so starstruck by anybody as Gregory Peck.
Really?
Just because he was sort of an icon from movies of my youth, and most of all, I wasn't even expecting much when I walked in. It wasn't like, oh wow, but the charisma of the guy just bowled me over. I thought, wow, this is a real movie star. Jessica Lange back in the day, thinking this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Wow.
Madonna, not so hot.
Really? Wow. Wow. You mentioned that sort of the most memorable moments in the festival, sort of in the 1980s and in the early 90s, were always to be had in the cinema itself rather than at a party. Do you still feel that way?
Well, there have been some good parties. You know? But the amount of time that I've spent sort of chasing celebrities and all the rest of it, when you come down to it, what really does remain with you, it's the films. And that's particularly true in Cannes as well. I mean, you're in this spectacular fairy tale setting on the Riviera, but it's really in the dark room. That's where the magic happens. And I remember in Toronto at TIFF, like increasingly as journalists, we have to follow the Oscar pedigree films, because that's what people are interested in. But meanwhile, the joy of going to a festival, if you're a cinephile, is that there's this whole world of films that you'll never get another chance to see. Or the notion of discovering a film. And I remember once, after my business was kind of done, towards the end of the festival, Ruby Rich, who's an American critic, and we sort of said, well, let's try to find something really interesting to go to. We went and we saw this film by Claire Denis, a French director, called Beau Travail, which was set in East Africa, in the deserts, the moonscape of East Africa, where you had French foreign legionnaires choreographed like modern dancers with a Neil Young song in the background. And it was like dying and going to heaven because of the surprise. It's like you walk into a theater not knowing what to expect, not knowing what you're going to see, and then you're transported to another world. And that's the magic which doesn't get old.
Do you ever get sick of movies?
I get sick of bad movies, and the majority of them are not great, but you never get sick of good movies. And whenever you see a really good movie, it's like, what was I thinking? So you start to sort of give the benefit of the doubt to kind of okay and mediocre stuff, and then something blows you out of the water and say, wait a minute, that's why we're here, that's why we care, so you never get sick of the good stuff.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Happy TIFF 2012.
Happy TIFF 2012 to you.